Well, good Monday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods here on this Monday. I know Monday sucks. It's the beginning of the week. We are getting back to work and all that, but don't forget, Monday nights, we've got our live stream, 9 o'clock Eastern. I hope you guys tune in. And do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Take a look down there, guys and ladies. 59 days, 9 hours, 31 minutes, and 10 seconds away from kickoff of the 2029 season. That's it. That's it. Football season is 59 days away. Come this evening at 8:15, it'll be 58 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and some odd seconds. It's coming fast. And we are 2 weeks away from training camp opening for the Cowboys. In fact, today's the 11th. We're 10 days away from some of the training camps opening for other teams. We will finally have football to actually talk about. Like my man Brian Green said yesterday, it'll be nice to go through and hear about practice. Hold your breath during practice to make sure that nobody gets hurt. And that's true. We hope that nobody gets hurt. We go through training camp and the preseason unscathed and get ready to start taking on the NFL roster. So there hasn't, of course, been much news to talk about. Fortunately for the Cowboys, things have been quiet. We haven't had any off-the-field issues since the Kelvin Joseph thing, which was early in actually it was March, when the incident happened, and subsequently a few weeks after that when everything broke. But other than that, other than Dalton Schultz contract, which the Cowboys have 4 days, they have until Friday, to get a long-term deal done, and I don't think that it's going to get done. I think he's going to play on the franchise tag. We've seen Dak Prescott play on it. We've seen DeMarcus Lawrence play on it. Why not see Dalton Schultz play on it as well? I mean, that's the way the Cowboys are. They're a last-minute team when it comes to contracts, and, of course, it seems like the moves that they make where they're trying to save money end up costing them more money. And then they tell you later on, we can't pay this guy because there's no money. Well, there's no money because you guys screwed up, not the players. But be that as it may, I want to turn the tables a little bit because I literally set up a live stream. If I set up my live stream for tonight, like right now, I guarantee you over the course of the next couple of hours, there will be Eagle trolls that will start leaving comments on there. The Eagle fans are on my channel before Cowboy ones are. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use some of the trolls' words against him right now. Let's take my man Philadelphia. See, it's one thing to come on the channel. It's one thing to come on the channel and troll you, right? It's another to spend time to make sure you send an email. Okay? He sent me a couple weeks ago this email. Can you see it? If OTA Jalen Hurts shows up in 22, the Eagles could be Super Bowl contenders. Interesting. Because today, Jalen Hurts is trending. Jalen Hurts is trending. Now, keep in mind that, the Eagles have selective memory. I believe it's the bird flu, okay? It's the Eagle bird flu where they have selective memory of things that happen. Because, see, they'll act like they beat the Cowboys twice last year. Or when you have the bird flu, you will come up with excuses on why stuff happened. So, like the 42-21 victory that the Cowboys had, week 3, oh, well, that didn't count because Nick Sirianni, he was still a new coach. Oh, okay. Even though the last victory that the Eagles had was against Ben DiNucci. Be that as it may. This is not my words. This is Eagle people. Let's listen to the tape.
I know it's a controlled environment, and like I tell you guys all the time, I don't get too hyped about OTAs, mini camps, and even training camp because it's controlled. But when I asked a few people back in late May about where Jalen Hurts was in his progress, one person said, "Let me just give you a scenario of what he went through one day of practice. It was a
One day,
10-play scenario.
we talking about practice.
He had 3 picks, 4 incompletions, and 3 sacks. That was his 10-play series. Okay.
Other than that, it was a great 10 plays.
And I followed up with, so what are you thinking? And the direct answer was, he's got a ways to go. And that's not very encouraging when you hear all this offseason news. He's worked with this quarterback guru. You know, he's working on his mechanics. He has a second year in Nick Sirianni's playbook.
When you heard that.
Yes. This is OTAs.
I hate that you told me that, Gunner, and I didn't want to believe it. And you just said it verbatim, so that means you're not lying to me.
Yes. So you heard the same thing.
Yes, I did.
See,
yes,
okay, so you know what I'm talking about. So, and I've said this on record many times.
Wow.
I first and foremost want to see Jalen Hurts succeed because of all the negativism out there surrounding him right now. He sucks. You hear more that he sucks than he's the quarterback. The answer. And because of how this young man carries himself, I want to see him succeed because of that.
I do too.
But when I get the breakdown, when I get this breakdown on him, and I'm like, if he's doing this in a controlled environment, what's he going to do when he's got to make decisions in a fraction of a second?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to play much in the preseason. You can forget that.
Not at
Ooh. Ouch. Ouch. Now, again, not my words. That's Eagles' words on Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm not going to say that Jalen Hurts can't turn it around. I'm not going to say that. But I'm glad we got Dak Prescott. I tell you what, I'm glad we got Dak. The whole thing that's amazing to me is it seems like some of the Eagle fans, now that we're getting closer to the season, have kind of, pumped the brakes a little bit. They were trolling me like crazy. Now that we're getting closer to the season and actually seeing the players on the field, they're not talking quite as much smack as they were. And if there's an Achilles heel on the Eagles, you have to look at it and say Jalen Hurts is going to be the big question mark. Yeah, they got him all kinds of weapons and stuff. But if your quarterback can't get it there, it doesn't matter who you have as wide receivers. We'll see what happens during the season. I am excited about my team. I don't believe that the Cowboys have taken as much of a step back as people believe, because I believe that the Cowboys have actually taken a big leap forward, because looking at Dak Prescott, and I actually feel good about where we're going, because I believe, yes, we lost Amari Cooper, but I think that we're going to have a 100% Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, who has said that he is truly 100%. Because I want you to think about this from where we were last year. The fact that our team ended up 12-5 is actually amazing. We were still worried about whether or not Dak Prescott's ankle was going to stay attached, if he was going to be anywhere near ready to be able to play. Enter training camp, and the first week of training camp, we found out that Dak Prescott had a sore shoulder. We had Adam Schefter saying the shoulder wasn't going to be right all season. And he ended up not throwing basically the first few weeks of training camp, and only throwing on a pitch count the last week or two going into the season. Turn into that having a calf strain, and mind you, the calf strain that Michael Gallup had kept him out for 8 games. The one Dak had kept him out 1, knowing that his other shoulder had to be cleaned up after the season. With all of that, coming back, having to rehab, not having been able to work with his guys, and as he put it this week, the trip to Miami is a bonding / working and getting to know your teammates better. They couldn't do that, of course, last year because Dak Prescott's leg was still being rehabbed on. They couldn't do it the year before because there was COVID. And this is the first year that Dak and CeeDee Lamb actually have a chance to work together. The fact that CD was over 1,000 yards last year and never having really worked with Dak is a testament to Dak Prescott and the way he was playing. And if we believe the pictures we see where Dak Prescott looks like he is like, there's not an ounce of fat on him, that the crispness in the passes and the ability to be able to move around in the pocket, all things that he did not have last year, all those things coming together, we could be looking at the Cowboys looking really, really good this year. So I believe that the Cowboys offense, because ultimately one of the really good things about Dak Prescott is finding the guy that's open. And with the Cowboys having a James Washington, mind you, I know people don't think much of James Washington, but the amazing thing is James Washington was in the top 10 of being covered by a team's number one cornerback. You don't cover a guy with your number one guy unless you deem him as a threat. We add him. I believe Jalen Tolbert is going to be a really good piece in there, CeeDee Lamb. And when Michael Gallup comes back, as well as having Tony Pollard, who, like Micah Parsons, is he a linebacker or an edge rusher? Is Tony Pollard a wide receiver or is he a running back? And even with Dalton Schultz and Jalen Tolbert, we're going to have a multitude of weapons that you can't cover everybody. And if your quarterback can find the guy that's open, you will be able to do some amazing things. So that's how I feel about the season going into it. Again, I'm just trying to throw a little bit of something back at you Eagle fans that, all of a sudden think that you are an all-star team, even though football has nothing to do with an all-star team. We play Pro Bowls. Yeah, Pro Bowls. Get it right, Miles Sanders. Pro Bowls. I hope you guys are going to have a great Monday, and I hope to see you here tonight because we are counting down to training camp. You know how we roll.
Our coach here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to